thanks, Jay, for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Success Leaves Clues podcast.
Okay.
All we do is auto and everything in the auto service, body shop, and
Gotcha.
repair side of things. So we're excited to have you here. And it's cool for all of our members here at the conference because you're a car guy.
Yeah, I like cars. Anything that rolls, explodes, makes noise. You know.
Or explodes. Well, our thing right now is, everybody is, okay, how do we get my business bigger? How do I do this? How do I do that? But you went a long route of stand-up comedy, which has some rejection in it, then has some success, and then you hit the pinnacle.
You got a lot of rejection in it. Oh, yeah.
A lot of rejection in it. You hit the pinnacle, and
my dad was a salesman, and it's that old Dale Carnegie, look in the eyes, shake your hand. I needed a part for my electric razor. So I found a razor shop, and I went out and talked to the guy. And when I go back to him, and I say, you know why I'm buying this here instead of online, even though it's $3 cheaper online? Because I can talk to you and you can give me information.
Yeah.
And that's worth something to me.
Yeah.
And I think, although everything is online, people do seem to be wanting to get back to, but how can I ask about this to find out? So I think the more you can reach out to a customer and add a little bit of personal service to it. When you buy high-end automobiles, I mean like crazy cars that cost hundreds of thousands, not millions of dollars, the guy who built the motor will sign it. And all that has, because it's human one-on-one contact. You don't mind paying $1 million more for the car because you meet the people that built it and get lost. And
the art.
Yeah, that's right. And like with the phone company now, I still have a landline at my house because my wife doesn't like cell phone. So I use cell phone, and I had a problem. There's nobody who can sell phone company anymore. You have to do it online. You can't. I said, can I get what's 911 repair? We don't have that anymore.
Really?
We don't have that anymore. No, you got to go through somebody and send it. Yeah, it's crazy. So I think that one-on-one contact with the customer. The old days where you go to a hardware store, I need one. I'll tell you a funny story. I was working on my Stanley Steamer, 1906, and I just needed a nut and bolt, So I called this place and I said, yeah, what kind of car is it for? Well, it's just a nut. Well, what kind of car is it for? A 1906 Stanley. We don't stock Stanley Steamer. I know you don't stock Stanley Steamer part, but can I bring the bolt down there and show it to you?
Match it up.
No, they just couldn't do it. But luckily, in Burbank, which is a little town, within a big town, there are still those kind of places where the guy's been at the hardware store for 50 years, so he knows where that nut and bolt is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just made me laugh. No, they couldn't do anything for me.
So, during all that time, you're getting your career going. I guess you liked cars probably back then.
Yeah.
You've always probably liked them. You're getting things going. Was there a person besides you? I've grown up watching you. I was always a big fan as a kid. Watching. I still remember when you had your first ending, then you had your second ending. I remember watching the closer of both of those. But you had your own little business there. It was a big stage, but you had your group. I don't know how many people were on that staff for the Tonight Show, but you had that group that were your people, and there's this big production y'all were putting on, and you had to do this.
Right.
And the whole country's watching all the stuff that goes right, all the stuff that goes wrong, and you did this for years, but was there ever somebody that you just trusted that just gave you advice and was like, Jay, do this, or Jay, do that, and steered you through that or did you just figure it out on your own? I
think there's a little bit of both. You find people who you admire and you see how they do it, and there's really no trick to it, I got a couple of friends of mine that are really, you call them corny square guys, married to the same woman, don't cheat, don't know. Well,
sounds like a good guy.
And they're good businessmen.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. You live in Hollywood, and I remember having this discussion. Someone said to me, Jay, you ever done cocaine? I go, no, never. Don't you think it's weird? Don't you think you should at least try it? I go, no, why is, first of all, illegal? I'm not interested in it. But this person thought, what's wrong with me because I hadn't done cocaine? I go, look, I don't want to tell you. It doesn't. I'm a car guy. I always want to be a responsible driver. I don't want to be that cliche. I meet so many cliches on the Tonight Show. Failure usually has nothing to do with your talent or your ability. uh, too greedy, too gay, too straight, too drunk, too high, too jealous. There's always some reason other. I mean, assuming you can do the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have talent. The reason you're not making it really has almost nothing to do with your talent. It just has to do with how did that guy get it? I should have gotten it. And being jealous of somebody else instead of looking at that person, seeing what they're doing different than you are. And maybe they are better at that job than you are. So try to emulate them and see what they do. But there are only 4,000 recorded geniuses in Hollywood. I think I've met 3,900 of them just living in LA because, I'm considered a genius, but they didn't see it. Well, no, maybe it's not. See, I'm a huge believer in low self-esteem. It's the key to success. If you don't think you're the smartest person in the room, then you shut up and listen. When I got to the Tonight Show, I said, "Will I hire the best director, the best lighting person I could find?" And then listen to them. And when they say, "Jay, you suck tonight. The show is really bad," don't argue with them and fire them and replace them with somebody who thought it was good.
Yeah.
You take their advice. I mean, you have to be a bit thick-skinned because sometimes people are more, honest than they need to. But that's okay. But I really think that's it. I have so many friends of mine that they did all this themselves, and then they get a show. I don't like these lights. Well, this guy's the best light. No, I think it sucks. Well, you're not a lighting guy, Bill. He's the lighting guy. No, I think, and then you wind up in a situation where, like they've seen The Godfather, where the guy blows himself up as long as he kills two of his people. The idea that I meet so many people in show business that don't mind getting fired if the boss gets fired too, because they would, it's just, we had a situation in the Tonight Show. I mean, I told this story. I don't say it to blow my own horn, but at one point I was making ridiculous money. It was $30 million a year.
Okay.
And the show, because of costs, they said, "Look, we're going to have to let half the crew go." I said, "What are you trying to save?" Well, we want to save $15 million a year. I said, "Well, if cutting my salary in half, well, let's save $15 million. I said, I spoke to my wife. I think it's only the two of us. I think we can live on $15 million a year. And I think from that point on, I had the happiest crew. No lights fell on my head. My mic didn't accidentally go off. I never had another problem. And, I didn't miss it. I had plenty of money. I mean, that's a ridiculous situation because obviously.
I love that you're that grounded.
Well, no, but yeah, I mean, it was really, and and then I became kind of a hero on the show. Like, oh, okay. And all the other union guys came up and gave you a pat on the back. And, the last night, the Tonight Show, I gave a little speech about how we built this show with a union crew. We paid them union wages. Guys would come in and show me the house they bought or the new car that they got with the money they made working for me. And it was good. When you spread it around a little bit, how much pie can you eat? You can't eat the whole pie. Get full. Okay, I'm full. I don't look like I missed any meal. Okay, I got to do the rest of this food. Hey, why don't we give it to the guy? Oh, okay. It just seems like it's just good business and common sense.
But you got to choose, and you got to step up, and that's what they respected about you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, it does sound a little self-effacing, I always meet people in the show business and everybody knows the good work they're doing anonymously.
So we all know this, it's public knowledge that Hollywood is not known for family values or staying with your spouse a long time. I've been married 25 years.
But there are plenty of people that do.
They do, but usually not at the pinnacle.
Well, you know what's so funny about that? I meet people in the insurance business, in computers, and whatever, easily as bad as it's just when it's Hollywood, it's a magnifying glass and they give off this illusion.
Yeah.
But it's really just life. It's an individual thing.
Yeah.
I can't say I find it any worse than the real world,
Yeah.
Every TV show is about the mayor or how many times have you seen the pastor with the girlfriend on the side, just, just all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just magnified much because it's Hollywood.
And you've always been known as the nice guy.
Well,
but seriously, you've had competitors and others out there and other people in Hollywood that haven't been known as a pleasant, kind individual that keeps her word, etc. And you, over years, got that reputation. Like all the way out here in Tennessee, if somebody says, "Oh, blah 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 about Jay Leno," they would go, "Oh, I heard blah blah blah." I mean, that's what happens in all of America, rural America, even. And you've always maintained that good reputation. Was there ever a time when you thought you're doing it the wrong way, or did you always know from a young man this is the way I wanted to do it?
No, I kind of always knew that that's the way you want to do it because it just works. I mean, kindness gets you further than almost any other thing. I mean, anybody I've ever had a problem with, I reach out to them, with the exception of maybe one or two. They all come around. It's like when I work in a club and I get a heckler. And let's say there's a big fat guy and he's heckling me. Well, I'll make fun of his tie or something else. And the crowd will go, "You said, why is he making fun of fat you?" Because that's the obvious one. And obviously the guys, I'll tell you a funny story like that. The one time I did. One day I'm in traffic and the guy behind me, beep, 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 beep. What's the matter? Beep, beep, beep. So I come and say, "Go around me. Go around me." As he goes around me, he gives me the finger. So I go, what's that all about? And he starts swearing at me. I said, "Let me guess. 52 and 53, fat, bald, divorce, your kids hate you. And everything I said was true. Like, this guy started crying. And I went, like, wait, I was like, pull over. So I get in this car, I go, "Look, I'm divided." And they, "No, you're right. My kids hate me. I'm divorced." I said, "Funny how I got two girls. How old are they?" I said, "Are they Taylor Swift fans?" He said, "Yeah, they are." I said, "I got Taylor Swift on the show next Wednesday. Bring them as my guests and they can meet Taylor Swift." "Oh, is it him?" Okay. So I tell Taylor Swift, and she's great. She's the nicest person.
Yeah.
I tell her, but she's got swag for the girls and pulls them an album and just all of the stuff. And I made a friend with the guy. The guy was just having a horrible day. He was fat. He was bald. I said, "Well, let me guess, your best day was what? Senior year in high school?" Hey, everything I said was true. I felt terrible because as a comic, you just boom,
read his book.
You look at the enemy, boom, 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 boom. You find out every flaw they have, and I realized I was wrong, but it turned out okay. I was able to solve the situation, and the guy was very grateful, and his kids were, "Oh, Dad, yeah, how do you tell us?" Like all that. So it worked out okay. But I mean, it's just an example of turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people in here are very enamored that you're here. Like, "Oh my gosh, that was coming. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." Because they watched you through your career. They watched you leave. They watched you come back. They watched, I don't think that, because we had less channels then, we didn't have YouTube competing like we do now and everything else. I don't know that the Tonight Show will ever have a chance to get as big. I think that
Well, it's not Tonight Show. I don't think any. It's just a different world.
Yeah, any show. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But you had a level of power and influence, and you always were more positive in your monologue. You're always more positive with your approach. You always joked around with people, and you kept things a glass half full versus glass half empty. And you were running, like we said before, your own little business there that had national, worldwide probably impact. Did it ever cross your mind, like did it ever hit you and like, holy crap, all these TVs at 10 p.m. are watching me tonight? Or did it just become normal and you didn't even think about that you were affecting so much culture?
Well, I think that's a bit.
I said, you're on the other side.
I'm a huge believer in low self-esteem, and you really go, okay, this is not really true. Well, thank you very much. The trick is not to believe the bad stuff or the good stuff. Okay. You just kind of go, "Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, thank you." You try to do the right thing. So even if you're wrong, at least you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I've never had a situation where doing the wrong thing, well, that was the right thing. It just never worked out that way for me. But yeah, I mean, when you do comedy, some people think you're great and some people think you suck, and they're both right. Because if I don't make that guy laugh, I suck. If that guy, he thinks you're great. Oh, okay, that's fine. So every night you go out in front of an audience, it always makes me laugh because DJs always make me laugh because they attack somebody. And like a lot of times DJs will say, "Hey, can we open for you?" And when you come to our town, like, "Hey, how much you want to do? 20 minutes?" can you guys do 20? We do 4 hours every morning on the radio. I think we do 20 minutes. Okay. So I get to two guys there, and they go out there and they start. And of course, on a radio, it's only funny because you say it's fun. There's no audience, so you just say it.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, that's a good point.
And of course, being on radio, you got to fill 4 hours. So you instead of going here in the United States, here in America, the greatest country in the world, by the way, you got to stretch it out because you're filling 4 hours. These guys are out there 2 minutes. Anyway, Jay Leno, everybody. I was like, you said 20 minutes. They said, oh, we were dying. You only out there 2.5 minutes. But they didn't get any. They expected some sort of huge reaction because it wasn't that fun. You know, jokes for free get an easier laugh than jokes they paid $50 a ticket for. You know, it's a big difference. You know, like a Tonight Show monologue would not work in a nightclub because it's funny. It's just not funny enough for that guy's buying drinks. He's trying to impress a girl, you know, whatever it might be. Yeah. But no, I never thought it in terms of, gee, I'm having a huge, because there's always something to bring you down. There's always somebody to ground you. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. Here you go. It's my parents. My mother's in Scotland, you know. So I got the Tonight Show. It was on for about 2 weeks. And my mother's like, oh, that's good. What is it, Mom? Tonight Show starring Jay Leno, Mr. Big Shot starring Jay Leno. I go, Ma, it's just what they do in show business. Like, you got to make it starring Jay Leno. Yeah, I mean, she was like, so
brought you down.
So if I asked about two, I said, well, I changed. It's Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Well, that's much better. But that's why I changed it. Yeah, because my mother.
Because your mother.
Oh, Mr. Big Shot. You know, like I'm showing off for you.
Yeah.
That was my mother. Jamie, stop showing off. Because
moms are good at that.
When I was a kid, I would go in the supermarket when I was like 6 with my mother. Then I'd run away. And I go up to the manager. Could you call for Mrs. Catherine Leno? She's my mama. What, Catherine Leno? Oh, my mother's so embarrassed to hear her name over the store. She'd come running up to the manager. I go, he does this all the time. Just recently, because my mother was the most conservative, never volunteered, most conservative, quiet, you know. So to her to be singled out, so she never understood what I did for a living. You know, when I played Carnegie Hall, I invited my parents down there. So I see my parents sitting front and center. Now, at the time, I just started doing Letterman, so you get a lot of college fans. And there were 6 guys behind my parents, right? And when I started to do certain routines, they would really begin to laugh. And I see my mother turn around and go, I go, Ma, you don't shush people at comedy show. Because my mother, my mother's being singled out
on stage.
That lady, that's my mother. And she's telling people to shut. And my mother, yeah, so it was just funny. So I always had that, you know, it's just a part of, you know, never blow your own horn, never say, you know, just that Scottish way. You know, it's just very funny.
So, whenever you started doing the Tonight Show, did you feel like I've made it? Or did you feel like I've got to take this to the next level? You know, after Johnny?
No, I never feel like I've got to take this to the next level. I just, let me do the best job I can. You know, I actually like doing the show every day because you work for 23 and a half hours and I got to go. I go. You know, if I did the show once a week, it would drive you crazy because every time you had a second off, no, I should be working to make this not funny now. But when you're writing jokes all the time, like, Jay, we're taping half an hour. You got to go. All right. If show goes bad, well, we got another one tomorrow. If show goes good, well, it's good. Let's try and do a good one. You know, so I actually like the repetitious nature of the never-ending wheel because you can't go back. It's not like a job where you have to go back. That car you fixed, it's broken again. It comes back. I can't go back and redo the. I'm always going forward. So that's why.
So the show, when you did it, how it panned out, we saw. There wasn't like you did the whole thing.
No, that was it. What you get, what you see.
And were we seeing the same day?
Oh yeah. We would tape at 5:30 and air at 8:30, which is 11:30 back. You would see it
a few hours later.
We take 2 hours before. Yeah. Okay. Occasionally, we a number of times during the Olympics, we were live every night at the actual time, but. Yeah, no, we would
live a lot more difficult, or the pressure helped.
No, it's just you make a mistake. It's a mistake. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. No?
So I got a question about your car collection.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would be your favorite car in your collection?
Well, no, I wouldn't have. I didn't have all these
Oh,
cars.
I know.
Favorite.
Your collection is like the most famous in the world. And
No, that's like a mom question. What's your favorite car?
Yeah,
if you can have only one car.
Yeah,
but
like we live in communist China. You can only have one vehicle. Just one.
That is funny. But that would be the number one thing these guys would ask. And then second, what would be your favorite daily driver? Just a current car you can buy right now.
Well, to me, I have a Tesla that I use every day because it's electric, it's renewable. I got solar panels. Okay. And the fact that gas at $6 a gallon in California, you can run all over with it. It never needs repair. It's never been in the shop. It's electric. There's no oil to change, no fluids that break fluid every couple of years or drain it. So that's pretty good. But I usually drive my Model T. I use that a lot to run around because if I crumple a fender, it's $175 for another one. Oh, yeah. That's the great thing about that. And nobody can steal it because they have no idea how to work. I mean, so yeah, I use the Model T to run around town. I've got a 1909 Baker Electric. Sometimes I take that to work, and I would pray that there's going to be bumper to bumper traffic because it only goes 25 miles an hour. So I'd pull on the freeway, and I'd go 2 exits, at 25 miles an hour with everybody else, and then get off on my 1909 Baker Electric. If the traffic wasn't there, people going by me at 90 miles an hour. But that was kind of fun. So,
do you like driving an older car to work just for all the people being shocked seeing it?
Well, that's I just like older vehicles. It's so funny. I got in my 54 Hudson the other day, and I pressed the button on the radio, and it came on. I didn't get. Do you accept this? Yes. Would you choose the station again? Yes, I would. What language do you want? English. You accept legal responsibility? Yes, I do. All the stuff you have to do. Just so I had to press the button. The radio came on. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's true. Need to work.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors. There's that moment after every job where you hand the customer the keys and they extend their hand for that handshake for a job well done. There's just nothing better than that. But those interactions don't happen if you don't reach out first. Upswell specializes in outreach for repair shops. At Upswell, you get a dedicated marketing consultant skilled in auto repair strategies to help you identify your ideal customer and create a campaign that hits the mark with perfect targeting, eye-catching design, and a compelling message to fuel your growth and get you more of those handshakes. Upswell handles it all. They even offer a free marketing assessment and 10% off your first campaign for all new customers. Get more customer handshakes, get more customers in the door, and get yourself an upswell of new business. Visit them online at upswellmarketing.com. Again, that's upswellmarketing.com. And now back to the episode.
Well, with your collection, I'm curious. I'm thinking about where we're going in the automotive industry, and a lot of the history of your collection. Are there certain trends or things that you've seen that pretty much we will see in the future?
Well, I think cars have changed more from 2000 to now than they did from 1900 to 2000. I mean, everything was pretty much a Panhard system, engine in the front, transmission middle. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And with old cars, for example, they always say the golden age is from maybe 1925 to 1976. Because if you find one of those cars, even if it's 100 years old, you can get it running again. If you find a mid-90s Ford Taurus, unless you've got that ECU or that computer, there's nothing you can do. It's like...
Yeah, the shops won't fix it.
Well, I always tell people, mechanical stuff breaks, electrical stuff degrades. If I'm looking at a fuel pump and I see fuel coming out the side, okay, the diaphragm's got a hole in it. I can take it apart, put a new diaphragm in. I've got 15 relays. One of them is bad. They all look brand new.
Yeah.
There's no way to tell unless there's a wire off. There's no way to tell. You just give me another. Is it that one? No. It's just replace.
Do you still mess with your cars out in the shop a lot?
Yeah.
Is that like a hobby for you, or is it?
Well, like I say, I like it because as a comedian, again, some people think you suck. Some people think you're funny. when a car is broken, if you fix it, they can't deny that it's running. You didn't fix it. Well, you hear it now? Was it running before? Watch this. Is it running? Okay, it's fixed. You know what I'm saying? There's a finality to it. Okay. Because what I do is all speculation. Some like it, some don't. But you take some. Plus, when you work with your hand, I'm one of those people, when the hands and the heart work together, the head work together, that's when you're the healthiest, I work with my hands during the day. Then I get on stage and I talk and I go, if I took a transmission out today, my hands would be all bloody and sore and I would have made $80, Standing up here talking. It does make you appreciate. Yeah, I had a big star on the show one time. I'm not going to say it was. and we're talking, and during the break, he goes, hey, cars, right? Hey, what's a good sports car to get? I said, well, this new Ferrari just came out. It's unbelievable. He goes, yeah, everybody's got a Ferrari. I go, okay, wait a minute. First of all, everybody does not have a Ferrari. I said, if we were on the air now, you'd be taken out in the street and killed. I said, most people have never even they've never seen a Ferrari. I said, you really think everybody, and then he started laughing when he realized how stupid that sounded. But when you live in Hollywood, that's the norm. That's the norm.
It's the Starbucks car.
Yeah. Just that kind. Yeah, it just made me laugh. Yeah.
So you have like a whole crew of guys that just exercise your cars and keep them running?
No, they don't exercise them. If I catch them exercising them, yeah.
Some guys,
that's the word, exercise.
Well, that's what they call it.
Not doing burnout.
Keep it.
But I mean, they take them, drive them around the block and park them?
No, I have. Most of my guys are old like me. And you want to know, I always tell guys with car collections, I said, there are so many master mechanics that would love nothing more for the price of one car. You could have a guy come in, you say, hey, I want to take out the LaSalle, 38 LaSalle next week. He'd go over it, check the brakes, check it. These guys would love nothing more than to have someplace to go and something to fiddle with that doesn't have to be fixed. It's not under the clock, And that's what's worked out for me. All the guys, I remember Bernard is my shop foreman. He had a shop. I took my Jag there. And for what it cost me, I could have hired him for a year. And I said, well, let me just pay your salary. Okay. And they get full health care and all that kind of. And it works out great.
So you've basically got a repair shop and they're just taking care of your stuff.
Yeah, that's basically where it works. I dabble it. I try to fix it back to the point where it was broken, and then I turn it over to the guys. But yeah, we do 3D printing and all kinds of stuff.
Wow. You flip any of your cars or do you try to hold everything?
No, get up.
Some guys say they never sell anything.
I never sell anything.
You never sell.
I got 208 cars on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't sell anything. And they go up in value. I mean, if you buy, I always tell people it costs just as much to restore a valuable car as it does a not so valuable car. Unless the car has some sentimental, it was my dad's or my brother died in Nam and this is the car he wanted to, if it's one of the cars, that's a whole different situation. But yeah, I mean, why restore a Pontiac Le Mans when you can restore a Pontiac GTO? Because the GTO is going to be, why not look for the GTO? Yeah, exactly.
Do you have like rules when you're at an auction deciding what to buy? Do you have some basic rules?
No, I break all my own. I do all the, I buy, one day this lady called me. I have an XT Jaguar I want to sell. I bought it new in 63. She said, I once had it up to 80 miles an hour. I said, okay, well, that means she's not like the crazy person. And I said, what do you want it for? She said, I want $50,000. This was 15 years ago, which was a little on the high side at the time. Now they've gone crazy. But there was just something I said, all right, let's just send the check up. Car ride. Oh my God, the clock worked. The two-bladed fan that's on it originally, still on it, and it doesn't overheat. It drives, it's a wonderful car. So, I mean, the kind of stuff I'm looking for, there aren't any. So you just buy the only one you can find,
They're really rare.
Yeah, I have 2 Doble steam cars. That's they only built 40 cars. So, wow. So you just take whatever's available. Right?
Well, what's so interesting about your collection is how much you enjoy just the difference of the cars. Just
that's what's fun. I like noble failures. I like, like Duesenberg. In 1928, twin cam, 4 valves, Hemi head, 421 cubic inch.
It's a big deal.
You didn't need that. You know who Will St. Clair is? You guys know Will St. C. Harold Wills was Henry Ford's partner. He was his first partner. And they split everything 50-50. Henry Ford did not like to give credit, but he was not a cheapskate. He split everything 50-50. Wills invented the planetary transmission. He developed vanadium steel. He was a metallurgist as well. He developed the Ford logo, the blue oval, you know, steel beam. Anyway, he and Henry Ford everyone had a fight with Henry Ford, you know. So he took his 50%, which was like $12 million in 1912 or 30 or some crazy amount. And he started the Will St. Clair Car Company up in Marysville, Michigan. And brilliant engineer. 1919, V8, overhead cam, bevel drive to overhead cam. It was based on Mark Burkett's first aero engine V8. And Henry Ford told him, nobody wants to go 70 miles an hour. Because the speed limit was 35. But he built it. And the first year he sold 4,000 of them. And he did quite well. And he built a big factory and he gave free health care to all his workers. And then the recession hit and the whole thing worked out with giant. And I've got one of those. And that's a noble failure. He made the car better than it needed to be to get the job done. Only geeks and engineering geeks care about overhead cams. And in 1919, you know.
It's like a Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker was interesting. But Tucker was not an engineer. He used a Franklin aircraft engine.
Yeah, it was just, to me, the concept, the rear engine, high horsepower, the third headlight turning with the steering wheel, all those little things.
Well, I have a 1938 Tatra, which is rear engine, magnesium V8, overhead cam, air cooled, headlight in the center. I mean, there's nothing new.
Yeah.
You know, everything we had in the first 10 years of automobile production. It's just the metallurgy couldn't support it. The manufacturing wasn't, you know, it was just, I mean, the Tucker was interesting, but that was a classic case of, you know, that's the genius of Elon Musk, whatever you think of him. Yeah. He came to my garage in 2007 with his prototype little electric roadster. And we drive, this thing is fake. He goes, you know what I'm doing, Jack? I'm going to build charging stations all up and down the highway so people can charge for free. I'm going, yeah, that will happen. Yeah, sure. You know, nobody, like, today you buy a electric vehicle from Ford, GM, anybody. Where can I charge? Oh, you can charge anywhere. Well, no, you can't. But Elon, when he was building the prototype, he was buying the land to build these charging stations. And when the cars finally came out, he had the infrastructure to keep them going. At first, it was just off the coast of California. Now you can drive cross country with it. I mean, obviously, it's not enough of them, but there's like 5,000.
You put a big dent in it.
Yeah. I mean, the reason the electric car is successful because of him. I mean, he's gotten involved in politics, and it's kind of ruined a lot of things. People have a lot of opinions, but if you just look at it from the genius point of view, it was really pretty amazing because you have engineers, but they're not businessmen, like Fisker. Fisker with the Ocean and with the Karma, great designer. Oh my God, but not a businessman or a manufacturer. I mean, everybody, you know,
an artist.
Most people can't do anything. Some people can do one thing. I can do one thing, but there are a few people that can do a lot of things. Elon is one of those people. You know, he was a businessman. He understands manufacturing, and he's a genius. I mean, it's really amazing. Yeah. Was that your original question?
No, but it was amazing, all your answers.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, what noble cars do you think are out there today?
Well, the Doble steam car, noble cars out there today.
Just things that you consider noble in terms of engineering, or things that
that we should be paying attention to that aren't going to be around any longer.
Well, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with Lancia as an automobile manufacturer. If you ever open the hood of like the Lancia Aurelia, now most people put the hood up and you have the stick and it holds the hood up. Lancia Aurelia has a series of latches. You hook it up and go, and that comes down one click and everything moves like, and you go, oh, just I open the hood just to look at the latch, just the way it works. And you go, this is way more complicated. A stick is one part. Somebody took the time, designed this, put a ratchet in it. You got to make the hook so it catches it. It click, click, click. But it's so satisfying that it's a difference between winding a watch and putting a battery in a watch. You know, I enjoy the little click of the crown wheel. You know, I appreciate the workmanship in it. But most people don't just want a car. They just want transportation, you know. So that's sort of so the Lancia would have been a noble failure. And it didn't make it either because I'm amazed people will go on an airline that has a ticket for $99. Okay, it would cost you $500 to drive across the country. Why did you buy a plane ticket for $9? What are they cutting? Where are they cutting the cost?
Yeah.
Is it maintenance? Is it equipment? It's $99. Driving is
That's a great
5
point.
times that. So you go, okay, what's this? It's not a one-time deal, but so you always have to look behind the thing.
Look behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Question the investment.
Yeah.
Well, you also like motorcycles, too, right?
Yeah, I like motorcycles. Yeah, motorcycles are great. Yeah. There's noble phase there. Vincent Black Shadow, just too expensive to produce. Japanese come and flood the market, and well, that's the end of that. Electric start, oil type, the British motorcycle manufacturer. I always remember the head of the British motorcycle manufacturers, and he said that motorcyclists love nothing more than taking their head off their motorcycle on a Saturday morning and decoking it. No, they hate that. They want to go riding on it. They're only decoking it because the stupid thing's not running properly.
Yeah.
They miss. They get so far away from the product. They don't use it the way that nobody in the British motorcycle, they were Sir So-and-so and Lord So-and-so. They're not riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
They're driving Jaguars or Rolls Royces. So, you've got to be intimately involved with the product. That's why as a comedian, I would go out on the road in between doing the tight show to see if the jokes work, to see what people found funny. Am I out of touch with people here? Am I out of, because, I went into, we have a chain called El Polo Loco, which is a chicken chain.
Mm-hmm.
And my garage is in a lower income area town. And every time I go in there, I go, how come you only have like 3 chicken wings? Why can't I get 4 chicken wings? Why am I limited to 3? They said, well, in this neighborhood, people can't afford the white meat, so they buy the dark meat. It's cheap. Now we're talking pennies here, 15 cents.
Yeah.
But you realize if you're on a low income and you got kids, you can't afford that extra $3 for the white meat chicken, And you go, okay. So you always gotta be in touch with your audience. Same thing doing comedy. You're out there talking about, it's the reason you have this polarization and you got the right wing with the crazy stuff, and the left wing is just as crazy, elitist and so and so. I remember Governor Dukakis, well, grow endive instead of corn. It's sort of, I mean, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You've got to interact with your customers and see where they are. You've got to relate to the people you're selling to.
It's a huge lesson right there in business.
Yeah, it really is. You can't, if you're above the product, it's like I always tell comedians, don't use words like anthropomorphic. Just say, you ever meet people that think animals are like us? But you say anthropomorphic, oh, he's really smart. What's that mean? I don't know. Oh, okay, well, then they miss the joke because they don't know what you're talking about.
It's crazy. Well, we got to jump and get you on stage here in just a sec. But this has been great. Thank you so much for
Okay, thanks you guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.